broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey, had a body.
Ooh, this is a oldie but goodie.
To see the boy
I'm off rhythm.
It's mine. I'm sorry.
You take it, girl. You take it.
Good song to pick for the episode.
Yes.
Because this is what happened in the episode, which we will talk about later. But it's Tuesday night, and you know what that means. AfterBuzz is another hot episode of Zoe Ever After and Zoe Ever After Show. I'm your host, Joshua Johnson. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JJ the Talented. And to my left, as always, the lovely Miss Camilla P.
Hi, everybody. What's up? What's up? It's your girl, Camilla. And you know you can find me on Instagram at The Real Camilla P and on Twitter at I Am Camilla P. And guess who we have here in the studio?
Yes. We are very fortunate to have Mr. Valente himself in Zoe Ever After, but we have Mr. Tory Devon Smith joining us in studio.
How y'all doing tonight?
We
What's
are
going
good.
on?
How are you?
I'm so good. I'm so good. I love the episode tonight. It was so good.
Yes.
Very good episode.
Yeah.
Very good episode. Matter of fact, as we were talking and watching the episode, you seem to be featured a lot more in this episode with some.
Yeah.
And I see you as the comic relief in the show.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's funny,
The fabulous, what do they call it? The fabulous gay?
You're the fabulous, fun assistant gay guy.
but you seem to get the best punchlines, and I think you had a lot more this episode, which was really good, really funny for us.
sweet.
But we're very fortunate to have you this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you
I'm
for
so
coming out.
excited to be here.
Yeah,
So
thank
excited
you,
to be
thank
here.
you. Thank you so much. And as you know, the song was The Boy's Mine, a throwback to Brandy because it's Brandy's show, and so we had to do
Be
that.
rocka.
Was that your song back in the day?
That was my song back in the day. And again, when that video came out, I was just so impressed as a kid. I thought, this is amazing.
Yeah.
You know how they switch from,
They're like in the
apartment to
room and like-
apartment. They could hear each other. Then here come a Kai Pfeiffer, at the door. And I'm just
Right.
like, oh, they about to get it. And you better watch out.
So were you Brandy or Monica?
Oh my God, that's so hard.
Because I was Monica.
You were Monica?
I was a little rough on the edges.
It depended on the day
Remember
which one
the
I
video,
wanted to be.
To be honest,
So you just sing the song.
I just loved both of them.
Right.
You know what I
I
mean?
don't even remember the video. I gotta go back.
You don't?
Joseph Kahn directed that video.
Did he really?
Yes, he did. It was nominated for Video of the Year at the MTV Awards. I remember they performed at the VMAs together. It was a huge event to see someone I looked up to
Google
up
it.
there.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Those girls were awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Forgot to mention, be sure and follow AfterBuzz TV at AfterBuzz TV on social media, and also use the hashtag while you're commenting along live, ABTVZEA for Zoe Ever After, ABTVZEA. And hopefully you guys are, commenting tonight. If you can bring up the chat. I don't know if there's.
We got a lot of comments last week. Do we
We
have
did
some
get a lot of
juicy ones?
comments on the episodes. On all of our videos so far, a lot of comments. So we'll probably get to some of that a little bit later. But you want to just jump into
Let's jump into the
jump into
episode.
the episode?
Yes.
So it opens up. Very funny. It opens up. I guess so. Zoe's about to go on a date, right? And
Always.
Amir, the doorman, is absent from his desk. He's not there. But I guess the date calls her directly through the intercom, the video intercom, and wants to come up. But we catch him. I guess.
Digging in his nose.
Yeah. Did he not know that he was on camera or something like that?
First of all, when you go to a high-end apartment building, you should know that it's cameras all around. And nowadays they have video,
Right.
cameras like that. So if you're just digging in your nose in the lobby, like that is just trifling.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go on a date either. Like she had to cancel, I would have canceled.
I was gonna ask if you saw that happen. If that was you, would you be
Cancel.
Would you cancel on the spot and come up with some
Backspace,
excuse?
delete. Yes.
Really?
It wouldn't even be a no. I would tell him like, dude, I just caught you digging in your nose.
I mean, but doesn't everybody do it?
Yeah, but in a secretive way, like you can have a napkin or a tissue. He was just like,
Yeah, he was kind of in there.
Some people just, don't care. You know, if you in the carpool lane, you see someone on the 405 and they just in there.
I've seen it.
Especially if they're in their if people are in their solitude, they really just kind of go for it. And I think, don't you know, people are watching you.
Right.
Your windows are not tinted. I see your finger up there.
Yeah,
but as fine as he was, I would have called him. You know, come upstairs, wash your hands, and let's go.
He was an attractive
so you
man.
wouldn't have minded at all.
You know, we might just knock some boots. You know, I gotta marry him. You know.
See, I could tell already, Tori is bad, but I can live through you because, you know, I'm just like dry as fire over here.
Well, yeah, oh man, if that happened to me, I don't.
Yeah, well, if that happened to you, if I dicked in my nose and I was coming on a date with you.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe you're an exception.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe you're an exception, so.
I get an exception? Oh.
Exception.
But
it's going down in the DMs.
It's going down in the DMs. So as we go on in the episode, this is the funny part to me because Pearl and Valente are describing a mutual love interest they're talking to, like a mutual guy they're seeing, right?
Yeah.
And they start, talk. Well, the guy I'm seeing is such and such, and the guy I'm seeing is such and such, and then
and they reveal that you guys are like seeing the same guy,
the same person.
Right. All these coincidences are a bit too coincidental, and it's the same person. And yeah, it's a little
awkward. And I would be pissed.
Right.
I'd be like, what? Oh, we calling him right now.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you, like in real life?
Ever happened to me? No. I don't know. No. People who I've gone out with are pretty direct.
Oh, okay.
You know, about what they want.
Because you said in the episode, like, he said he's bi.
Yeah.
And most bi guys is people that are living basically in the closet.
Are living alive. Right, yeah.
So in real life, we do deal with guys that are living lies and pretend to not like guys, but do. And then that can actually happen.
Absolutely.
Let me just say, I would be pissed, okay? Look, Tori, who you done dated out here?
Yeah, you're right. So we know. But, sexuality is pretty fluid, and I think, you're playing with that sort of notion. If you are kind of out and bisexual, at least the person knows you're comfortable with the fact that I'm into both sexes. But I think those who are hidden, now that's obviously a complete problem. For me anyway, if I'm out there in the dating world as a gay man, if someone's discreet, I'm not into that. I don't find that to be sexy. I need you to be confident in who you want. So that's kind of my thought.
Yeah. So we see, I don't know. Is that a reference to what we're talking about? Brandon James Clifford.
That is the only person in chat, and that's all they have to say.
And that's all they have to say.
Like black girls.
Like black girls.
I like black girls.
So I guess he's making his stance. Like black girls.
I like black girls. Yeah. Well, Hanifa want.
Well, I like
Pearl
all.
want. Pearl want. He likes black girls.
Yeah.
I like black girls too.
Well, Pearl is available because she needs somebody by what's the date?
November 13th.
November 13th. She's really trying to get somebody in there for that.
She is about it, ain't it?
Yeah.
Every episode, it just gets deeper.
And you just throw her shade every time too.
Well, throw some reality into her, honey.
You throw her shade. You throw.
I love the shade that you throw because that's in real life. Like when you have your gay friend, he's always the one that's like putting you in your place. Like, honey.
Or your best friend. They tell you how it is.
They tell you how
they tell you the truth to a certain degree. You need those people.
People say the best. Your best friends would do that. You guys agree?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm very open. Girl, do not wear those shoes because your toes is hanging off.
Even if it'll hurt their feelings?
Yes, because you don't want to hurt their feelings.
No.
But it comes off sometimes like that.
Yeah. And you have to finesse. Try to do it in a nice way if you can. But if you're good friends, you might forgive that person for being kind of nasty. Like, girl, boy, you was pretty mean, but thank you for letting me know.
Well, we did see that last episode with Pearl and Zoe. I guess they made up after they kind of had a little thing
That's
going.
girls.
Yeah, but they made up later. Watch Golden Girls together. So they were good.
And sipping wine. That's what we can do.
Blanche.
Yeah. So they were good, but so your character seems to be a bit sassy, throwing the shade, and always has the
the smart comments.
Yeah, the smart comments. But towards your boss, though, like you can get away with it, though.
Yeah, I think it's because Zoe finds this kind of dedication in him. She kind of lets it slide because he knows, or she knows that he's quite dedicated to her and adores her. So I think there's a lot of love there, and I think it's actually going to kind of happen more and more and more as we see more episodes that get closer and closer and closer.
But Zoe needs to watch out because according to the episode, Valente has dreams of running the company one day.
I know. You said that. And you said, shh, don't tell anybody, but we heard it. I heard it.
I know.
So might we see something along, like maybe a greater role for Valente in having some more responsibility outside of being an assistant?
I mean, we'll see. That would be such an interesting storyline to see him kind of either take over or be a rival.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Be a rival.
Well, that sounds like
company.
something maybe for season 2.
You know what I mean?
You know,
Who
we'll
knows?
have to wait for it.
That would be
hoping
kind of
for that
interesting.
season 2.
I'm hoping
know.
for the season 2 too.
We're going to pray for that.
You know?
But you know what? The show has some good reception. I've seen a lot of good social media reception, and I've seen some comments too that were, you know, like we had one comment about, speaking of like the sassy stereotypical gay character.
Yeah.
We had a comment from someone on the video saying it's 2016. Why are we seeing this kind of, as they put it, stereotypical character?
Yeah.
It's always the assistant or the makeup artist or the hairstylist. I mean, what would you say to someone like that about this character?
You know, in terms of the character and people saying that he's stereotypical, I think it's up to people to kind of change their mindset about this kind of guy. As a proud gay man myself, when I read the script, I didn't see stereotypical. I saw someone who jumped off the page, who lived in this world, who had a job, you know, who was important. And to read all of the scripts that I have so far, the writers really cared and gave him such integrity. He's integrated into this show. You know, these sort of men exist. And I think for so long, America has taught us in terms of gay people that this is not the way you behave. This is not what we like. You know, especially being a black person, it's incredibly sensitive to be in this country because we are incredibly stifled. You know, we're always told that this is not good. And every role that we play in media is a stereotype, which I think is unfair. Why can't we be alternative? Why can't we be this person? You know, these people teach your kids. You know, these people, they make your clothes. They create the world. And I think it's time that we celebrate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're witty. They're incredibly well dressed. They're incredibly educated. You know, if that's a stereotype, then sign me up.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Got the applause. So the character definitely jumps off the page.
Yeah.
And I know in meeting you, you have that engaging personality that jumps off the page.
Yes,
and
you do.
Right?
That's so
me?
nice.
And I wonder.
He gave me a hug right when I came in.
Yeah,
like,
She looks so beautiful.
like,
She's glowing.
Hey, you know,
so pretty.
thank you.
And in my mind, I bet that came across in your audition for this role. I can see. I mean, in my mind, I can see like them just falling in love with your personality and being like, okay, we have our Valente because you have this kind of energy that just draws people in.
That's so sweet.
So talk about maybe the audition process and like, did it take a lot of auditions to get this role? Did you have to go through a lot or?
Yeah, I think it was about a process of 3, and I actually booked another series before this show came about, and it was called the Untitled Brandy Norwood Project. And when I got the notice for it, I had no clue that this was existing. I thought, Brandy Norwood, she's like one of my idols, and you know, and then I got the audition. I had no clue, actually. I didn't pay attention to that this was a series regular role. But when I read Valente, the sides, I thought, I know this guy. I know this guy. You know, I was getting ready to go on a plane the next day, or actually the day after, so I went to bed, and I said, I'm going to get up and do it. And I didn't really think anything of it, because when you go to an audition, you don't want to go into an audition hoping that you get the job. You just want to do a good job in the room, win the room. Maybe they'll call you back for something else. You know, I went in very comfortable. It was very kind of easy. I read the character. I had some great ideas for him. I was like, no, I know how to do this. And I didn't think anything of it, because I was going to New York and I was going to film another series. So my mind was a little kind of elsewhere. And then I get a call in New York that they want to see me again. I said, what? You really
that was
want to
the
see me
callback.
again? Yeah. Then once I got back from New York, they wanted me to go to the callback, and then I had another producer session. And then one of the writers, the creator, really, Erica, was in the room, and she was just like, I've seen a lot of Valentes, and you were the funniest. And that's where my heart just kind of exploded, because I thought, she really likes me. This is the writer and the creator. I can't believe this is kind of, I've never been through that kind of step before. And then I got the call through my business team that I got the test deal, and then the rest is really pretty much history.
Yeah.
And you are Valente.
Yes.
I never
I like
thought in television that, because usually actors who receive kind of their breakthrough, usually it's a role that's very much like them. So I never really saw a character in Hollywood like me kind of growing up. So when this came about, I thought, this is very much kind of close to me, my sort of humor. You know, we're obviously very different. This is somewhat of an exaggeration. But I never thought a character like this would be written very close to me. That was so cool to me. I thought, oh my gosh, I get to kind of play a version of me.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you got the call for the callback, who was like your move right? Come closer, baby.
Come closer.
Don't be scared of me.
Yeah.
When you got the call for the callback, and then you noticed that you were actually going to be picked up.
Yeah.
Who was the first person that you called?
Who was the first person that I called? Probably my friend Russ. My friend Russ Cleta is one of my really good friends, and I think I called him first.
And you were like,
I can't believe I got this. And I think I called my sister, then I called my friend Katie, and then I called, other people. And I also called my high school drama teacher, who was one of the biggest influences in my life. And I said, because of you, a lot of this is happening to me, because of what I learned there. So I remember calling her too.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then your love of acting started not just, in LA or anything like that. It started back before. In high school or as a child even, right?
As a child, yeah. I grew up in Bakersfield, California. And it started very, very young. I grew up in the foster care system. And so I stayed with a very influential foster parent by the name of Maggie Rupert, who I still love and I still talk to. I try to call her every holiday. And she was a devout Seventh-day Adventist. And I didn't really know so much about the religion, but she was very, very dedicated. And we would go to church every single Saturday. And then we would also have Bible study. And I was somewhat of a quiet child. And it was in Sabbath school that I started to pay attention, kind of listen to the verses and learn them every week. And you had to get in front of the class and recite them. And that's what kind of started this kind of performance out of me. And then I started to participate in church plays. And then it, ricocheted into school and whatnot. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then eventually, from reading your bio, you landed a full-ride scholarship to Loyola Marymount.
Yeah, Loyola Marymount University. Yeah. I applied to several different colleges at the time, and also too, I thought I was somebody because in high school I was very much involved in theater. I did every single play in high school. I even won a festival in 2003.
Oh yes, I've seen that, and you were the first guy to do that
in my high school. So I thought I was somebody. So I auditioned for Julia. I thought I was somebody. Two of my friends, they drove me up to San Francisco, and just to audition for Juilliard was just a cool novelty to say.
What was the response? Did you?
Oh, I didn't get in.
You didn't?
No, I didn't even make the call back. But I did make the judges laugh. They just kind of looked at me and said, "Good job, Tori." I said, "Thank you." And then we tried to sneak into a gay club, but we were way too young.
Well, we all snuck in clubs, baby.
You try, but yeah.
Well, I don't know. I got in.
Yeah, of course. Did you see him? Sure. Of course she gonna get in. You see that face? You see what's below that face? No, she gonna get in. She gonna get in. Shit.
I'm telling you, Tori is funny. It is funny.
Tori has a great personality.
You know what? Let's get back to some of the plot of the episode. So, eventually, we find Zoe in. I guess she invites some of the mothers over from extra school.
Wait, no, we missed something.
What did I miss?
We actually missed when Pearl and Valente went on the date.
Oh.
And when they went on the date.
Oh my! That was huge.
That was a huge part of the episode.
Well, set it up. Talk
okay,
about
well, let's set it up then. No, okay, so Valente and Pearl, and Pearl went on the date, and it was funny because they actually came together and said, "Hey, let's go on this date." And Valente's like, "Okay, well, I'm going to win."
How did they get the guy to agree to that?
Well, because he was, a guy is probably thinking, "Hey, I got a girl and a guy here. This is like a perfect."
Well, he's probably thinking maybe we can do something after.
Exactly. Guys, that you guys are kind of nasty. But anyways, they meet up at this dinner date, and the guy, which was handsome, was just sitting there. Pearl is going at it. Valente is going at it. He's making his
Joseph to Pearl, and then
he's like,
Joe
Joseph, I call him Joe.
Valente. Yeah.
And he's like, you need to tell her because we need to do this with, and all that. By the end of the date, Valente is like about to leave with, what is his name, Joe or Joseph?
Joseph, yeah.
Joseph. But then it switched because that's what I wanted to say about you in this episode. Like, I was like, oh my God, he's a really good friend, because you didn't just get up and get so horny because he was like, yeah, we can go back to the room or whatever. You actually stood up for your friend.
Well, I mean, I think he was all about it until he made the comment
about being desperate, which he knows.
Valente was ready to go.
Desperate.
Valente was ready to go. Like I won the challenge.
I'm out of here.
Let's get out of here. But
he said, oh, and don't be so desperate. It's not a good look.
Right.
Even though Valente, clowns Pearl every chance that you get.
Every chance.
Every chance that you get, you shading her about being desperate about her trying to be married. You took up for her in that, you know what I mean? And for me, it was just like, that's what a real friend is at the end of the day, because you want someone that's going to stand up for you no matter if you know, hey, I know this girl desperate, but I'm going to take up for her because that's my friend. So I think that was a huge...
That was a nice moment.
And Valente, this my friend says
just
this.
horny, huh?
He doesn't throw shade, he sheds light. You know what I mean? And what I love about the moment between Valente and Pearl is that you start to see these great friendships form. And it's always lovely to share that with your fellow actor, And Anifa Wood is so damn talented.
Yeah.
And I just adore her. So I really, really love that scene that he comes back and he doesn't care. You hurt my friend. She's not desperate.
Right.
This is what she's trying to do. If you don't understand that, fine. At first, maybe it was like a kind of a game. It was just actually, that's all it was. It was a game. It didn't mean anything to him.
Right.
What means something to Valente is Pearl.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about that little bite on that episode, because
I like that scene.
I was like, I need friends like that.
You know what I mean?
But is Pearl, she's a little desperate, right?
Well, Pearl is desperate. She wanted to have a marriage.
Valente said she's a woman with a plan.
She's a woman with a plan. But she also does retract and say, maybe I do need to make my pie a little smaller. So each step by step, she's learning that, okay, this is how I should cultivate how to get a man. I should lessen the desperateness, if you will.
Well, she hasn't had her wax in a long time, so...
Wait, no.
Coochie cobweb.
Didn't she?
No.
Okay.
She ain't got the webs. The webs are still there.
I thought this episode she mentioned something about...
We ain't talking about the internet, okay.
Okay, maybe I'm mistaken, but yeah. She didn't...
She went on a date, but she didn't get laid.
I thought she did.
No, we would have known.
Quench her thirst.
She needs to exactly. She needs to quench her thirst. She needs a Sprite.
But if you she needs to obey her thirst. That's Sprite,
that's
right?
Funny.
Oh well. Obey.
You know the slogan.
Yes.
Yeah. You know the slogan.
This ain't the commercial. This is AFTERBUZZ.
We trying to get a Sprite sponsorship, right?
I'm just kidding.
But if you met a Pearl in real life, someone who had their wedding date set, I mean, who? Come on, is that really someone that you probably meet? Like, I got my wedding date set, and by this date, exact date, I better have a groom to walk me down the aisle.
I've never met that person, but I'm sure it's some crazy person in the world like that.
So you saying Pearl's crazy?
I'm not saying she's crazy. I'm just saying she's a little desperate.
Oh, she is desperate.
Yeah, that's desperate. To me, that's desperate. She might know what she wants, but at the end of the day, it's a little desperate to say, hey, on July 31st at 2 p.m., I'm going to have a groom, and we're going to get married at the Marriott Radisson or JW Marriott. That's a little kind of crazy.
Yeah. But we've already established that Pearl's pretty thirsty.
Yeah.
It's dry, Zoe.
Okay, so last recap, we talked about thirsty. Have you ever had a thirsty moment, just being, now Tori is known as Valente all around the world. Do you get any thirsty DMs? Do you get any thirsty guys? What's the craziest thirsty moment?
Because it goes down to the DMs.
It goes down to the DMs like Yo Gotti. Have you heard that song?
No, I haven't. I haven't heard that, actually.
I told you my
heard that
playlist
song?
is popping.
We got to put it on the next show, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything is happening really kind of, it's all very early and new, so I haven't, received any sort of messages.
You need to check your Twitter. I'm telling you, you got a thirsty message on there.
Yeah, because if we're not following you, then you might have to check the other little box that they go to.
I don't think
Look, I followed you back.
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
I don't know. I haven't really experienced that sort of thing. I mean, I've known people in my life who are pretty thirsty.
So just
and
in
I think
life?
I think sometimes men, they get a little thirsty from time to time.
Oh, you guys
because
we're
very physical and we need to exert that physicality.
Right.
Kind of probably every month. I call it the male period. So even there comes
I
a
agree
time
with
of the
you.
month
I
where I'm
think-
like, I'm thirsty right now. I need something.
So how do you
Men have
quench
periods.
that thirst?
quench
With a
that thirst? Quench that thirst? How do I quench? Oh, well, you know, I have a couple of people that I call that I.
See, he has a list.
I ain't got a list now.
But look, but now that you've got this, because this is your first major role.
Yeah.
And now that you've got a little, this notoriety now. I mean, certainly.
Stamps.
Are people coming out of the woodwork? Are people noticing you now and be like, oh, hey,
You know, the
hey.
coolest thing that I've received so far is teachers and classmates that I've had from the past, like 4th grade, 2nd grade, coming out of the woodwork.
Well, then you'd be like, see, I told you I'd become something.
Well, most people were very actually positive in terms of that happening because I was always performing.
That's right.
I never thought that I would be a series regular. Like I'm telling you the truth. I thought this would take like a decade. I was just ready to keep serving and just keep going for it because you don't know how long success is going to happen. You know? I want to be Flo from the Progressive commercials.
Oh, yeah.
She is an amazing.
yes.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, right?
Yes, I do.
She has bobbleheads.
Yes.
Does she really?
She has bobbleheads.
And she only does progressive.
She's probably
That's all she needs to
killing
do.
it.
Oh, she's
yeah,
definitely
And how
killing
long
it.
has she been doing those commercials? It's like
That's a while.
amazing.
Yeah. It
Like,
was
that
a
is-
She's
rising
making
guy.
money.
She's making some
She's
money.
getting some checks.
She was in the first season of Mad Men, by the way.
She was. Yeah, she was.
I like her.
That's
I
right.
like her so much.
I know what Mad Men is, but I never really
You never
watched
watched
it.
Mad Men. Oh, you
Not-
know.
Brilliant series. Brilliant.
Is it on Netflix? Because that's what I do.
AMC. Oh, it is on Netflix.
it's on Netflix.
It's on
Oh,
Netflix
okay.
now.
Yeah, you can watch
I mean Hulu too, right? You can watch it on Hulu or no?
I don't think it's on
Probably
Hulu.
not.
Oh.
I'm watching The Affair on Hulu right now. So
How's that? Is that good?
Oh my God, it's so good. The actors are amazing, all of them. I love Maura Tierney too. Love all of them.
They've got the I think the main character woman in there, didn't she play on Luther in the British series?
Ruth Wilson, was she in that?
Ruth Wilson.
Was she in Luther?
Isn't that The Affair? Isn't that the same?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah.
the same actress.
Yeah, she played in
She's
Luther.
wonderful in this show.
You guys are like all on another. I'm like,
Yeah,
You know
Ruth-
us men.
yes, you guys
We get on
drifted-
tangents.
Get drifted away.
Yeah, about the
You
game. or
started off
something.
with the whole thirsty thing.
Well, that's what I mean. It's what Pearl is doing. She's kind of thirsty for a guy in marriage. I mean, I want to
Right.
get married too one day, but I'm not like, yeah, on April 2nd,
mean,
February 2nd, it's going
Unless you're
down.
Miss Cleo, you do not know that much information about a wedding day without having a man.
Right.
It's true.
That's true. And then we got, now I can say Zoe has the I guess the other moms over from
It's like a parent.
Ex's school. Like they're talking about an auction they're putting together or some kind of, what it was it an auction? Yeah, their school auction. And I guess they have this every year. It's a fundraiser.
raise money for their kids.
To raise
Yeah.
money for the kids. And they are throwing her all kinds of shade. Right? What's the deal with these moms? Like, why are they?
They're snooty like she used to be, which she said that. She said, I used to be that girl, and now she's trying to be very independent, and they don't understand it. And they're like, no, girl, we want your man tickets. We want some boxing gloves, and we want the perks. We don't care about your little cosmetic
line.
list. No, it was nail line. I mean,
Nail-
well, because she's coming out with her
Lacquer or
nail.
whatever she calls
No,
it.
Lacquer.
Golden Gloves nail line. I mean, from her lacquer.
Right.
So I just think that those girls exist for sure.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
because she's
And
Zoe's living.
you can tell that they just want her for her benefits.
Right.
Yeah, I think
But
so.
I kind of, it seemed like to me, because she was kind of striking out on her own, making a name for her own self, I kind of saw that scene as they might have been a little bit jealous. Maybe not, but to me it seemed like, well, they were jealous of her because to them it was a hobby, but still she's becoming independent. They're not independent. They're dependent on, their husband's money.
Yeah.
They're just living a nice life in Manhattan and just, going to the spa every day, getting the nails done.
And yoga. I
And
love
yoga. Right. But
Bikram yoga.
but they.
Oh.
What's the difference?
Oh, Bikram yoga is the room is like 100 degrees, 105.
Well, see, I
that's
can't
the
do that
hot
right now
one.
since I'm pregnant, but I do
yeah.
the prenatal yoga.
Why you can't sweat?
It's just too much. I might pass out.
Oh,
I already
that
have
wouldn't
like
be
double heat in my body. Like, it's like a lot going on right
She's
now.
heating for two.
Exactly. It's like an oven.
Yeah.
I think with Zoe though, and her friends per se, it's always intimidating when someone evolves in your friendship friendship group. It's almost as if like, oh my God, the world is changing. I'm comfortable in this net right here, but Zoe's like, no, I'm going somewhere else. I'm evolving past you. So get the hell out of my house.
Right. And she said that just that. after all the insults that she got from.
Well, because she had to get a little push from her boo that I think she's gonna be with by the end of the season, Miguel.
It's not her boo yet.
It's not, but I said her boo at the end of the season.
No, see, I think that it'll happen. We know it's gonna happen. But I kind of feel like it's gonna. You're right. At the end of the season.
Exactly.
Well, you didn't say that earlier. You didn't say. You were saying like next episode they're gonna be in bed.
I didn't say next episode. I said this episode.
That's the way you were talking. I was the one that said at the end of this season because it's gotta bring us. It's gotta keep us wanting season 2.
Trying to take my prediction.
Didn't I say that?
No, I said. Let me clarify myself. I said that he looked like they were gonna go into something on the end of the episode in this episode, only because he was helping her with the smoke detector, and it just looked like that was set up for her to drop something and the breast go into his face or something. I don't know.
It
just
like
looked like that.
It could have happened.
That's how it happens, Let me help you with the water heater, and then she's bending over trying to, guys do this thing. So I just felt like he was setting up for something, but it just didn't happen. She was kind of like, oh, that's all, She was just kind of she's still awkward about dating, so.
She is kind of awkward.
But I definitely believe Miguel is going to be coming around the mountain. Here he comes.
That's pretty obvious.
When he comes, he'll be coming around that mountain when he
Tori
comes.
No, so is that what happened? No, I know
He can't tell
I
us.
have no idea what you're talking about.
He knows the juice.
I love Miguel, played wonderfully by Ignacio Cerricio, who is so funny.
And fine.
Yeah, that too. And he's a really great comedian. Mm-hmm. He's a really, really talented comedian. Yeah, he got on stage in Atlanta with one of our writers. He got right on stage. He wasn't even on the list, and he got on stage. We're just like, you really gonna do this, Ignacio? And he killed.
Wow,
wonderful. To me, Miguel is kind of Zoe's conscience. You know what I mean? He happens to always be there when she's deciphering some sort of problem, and he kind of eggs her on. He's her cricket.
Yeah, he's
Jiminy
that push.
Cricket.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just that little push.
That's why I feel
Which I really like.
When a guy always has that push, you start looking like, You know what I mean? It opens your eyes like, why is this guy always here when I need him? Thank you, God.
There's a fine line there because they could end up in the friend zone, can't they? Because they're always there when you need them, but you really want the other guy. And that the friend is giving you advice about.
Yeah, it kind of can, Well, you better go in there. You better, knock them dead. You can't be scared. You got to be like, how Valencia was, I'm not losing. You have to go for it. Because, girls, we can be a little,
Yeah.
So.
I know nothing about that.
Oh, sorry.
He gave her.
I'll tell you a little bit about it later.
He gave her the advice, and she went back out there and kicked the moms out.
He's like, yeah,
her
say
mind.
it. Like it's like she had to get assurance from him to be able to even say what she was going to say because she felt scared.
Yeah.
And he's like, who can't stick up to their own friends, which we were talking about earlier. Like, you should be able to say whatever you want to your friends. And I think people, it's a fine line. Well, with me, with friends, like, it's a fine line because you can say you have friends, but those girls are just associates.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you want to say they're your friend, but at the end of the day, when you start noticing things that they're doing, like when you realize they just want you for your man's tickets, which at the end of the episode, Gemini comes in and messes up and ruins everything being a guy, and
being a guy,
because he was throwing away throwing in their face like, yeah, I gave them tickets and she's over here trying to be independent about something.
He didn't know.
He didn't, but like I said, being a guy, flaunting his works.
And that's why he ate them olives at the end of the episode.
But speaking of friends, like you were talking about earlier, how about your castmates? Do you guys, when you weren't filming, did you guys hang out at all?
All the time, like between takes, we're making dinner plans. You know what I mean? Me and Hanif are in Brandy's trailer, and we're going over lines and we're laughing, and then then I would scoot over to Ignacio's trailer, and he's of course watching the football game, the soccer.
Oh yeah,
the soccer
of
one.
course.
And then then I would go over to Dorian's, and then we would kind of have a chat, and then he would he helped me with an audition over there, so it was just a wonderful group of people to come together And we all come from this kind of humble beginnings and everything. And Brandy, too, who, you know, she's kind of the leader. And she did such a wonderful, wonderful job. And such a sophisticated woman. She was raised right, you know. I got to meet her mom, who I love.
Oh, wow.
She was wonderful. So all of us, who I still call every single one of them all the time. If I'm going through something just silly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I call them, you know. I just got off the phone today with Brandy after my audition and let her know how it went. I talked to Hanifa today. Sometimes we just talk about anything, you know. So it's really such a great kinship that we all have, and I really can't wait till we go back and we get to create again together, you know.
Because you're in Los Angeles,
Season 2.
but they filmed in Atlanta.
They filmed in Atlanta,
So you guys stayed out there for
Yeah.
a certain period of time?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
nobody lives in Atlanta, right? No, none of the cast.
No, I think, no. We all live out here. Dorian lives in New York.
Doing
Oh,
New
okay.
York.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as far as like on the set goes, were there like any was there a prankster? Was there the serious one?
Well, Ignacio, he's the prankster.
He seems
He's
crazy.
insane. Gets on my last nerve. He's kind of like the goofy one. And then we would go out and DJ. Dorian, he spins. He's a DJ.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we would go out and dance the night away, you know, with our costume designers, you know, Alita, Rita, everybody. You know, we all went out. The crew was spectacular.
I bet you the crew after party, rap party was like off the chain.
You know, it was so much fun. We went somewhere and we just danced the night away. You know, that's what we would do, and that's what we always wanted to do. Atlanta is a good place to party, to
That's
have
what I
just
hear.
a good time.
Well, it doesn't close at 2 like in Los
Yeah.
Angeles.
It
Like,
doesn't?
Everything closes at
no,
1.
It closes at like
12
4
here.
or 5.
I thought 2
Then you
was
hit the
late.
strip
I thought 2 was late.
The strip
Like,
club is like an attraction. It's like Six Flags in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
it is.
It's wonderful.
that's like the thing everybody goes to,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and it's not
You never been to the
seedy.
strip? You need to get out.
My mom's watching. No, I'm just kidding. Not in Atlanta. No, not in Atlanta, but
Well, you've been in
Elsewhere.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
I went to a strip joint for me.
wait, what's the big one in Atlanta? Is what's the name of it? Isn't it like
That
the
is
main
not
one?
appropriate for Zoe Ever After show.
I was trying to get some suggestions for when I go.
Magic City.
Oh, that's right,
Strokers.
Magic City.
I know
Yeah.
them all. I'm just kidding.
Is that right?
In my past life. I'm a mommy now.
Now, talk about the wardrobe. Do you have any say in the wardrobe at all? Because I see you have a certain style.
Oh, yes. I loved your suit in the first
Yeah.
and I'm
opening
liking,
scene.
Right.
You know, Rita was the costume designer on the first season of Empire, so we had someone who came on board who was just brilliant. And in terms of a say, I just trusted what was already picked out, you know. And there was a little bit of an evolution, but we wanted to make Valente much more dapper. You know what I
he
mean?
definitely
There was
is.
a lot of inspiration from the 40s and 50s men of that time. And so, no, I didn't necessarily have a say. I just loved everything. And when we would put things together, we would say yay, nay, and whatnot. And everything was, you know, obviously approved and whatnot. But it was just glorious to put on these clothes all the time. Everyone looked so stellar. Like Brandy, every time she came out, I thought, oh my God, she looks so beautiful.
I know that opening dress in the opening scene was amazing.
Right?
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yes.
You mentioned.
Everything she wears, what Pearl wears, even like Dorian, and the way that they dressed him is really cool, you know. In a couple episodes, we'll get to see Miguel dress a little nice too, you know, because
Oh,
he's
he
always
gets
looking
on-
a
When he
little
goes on a
swarthy.
date?
Well, what's funny?
With Zoe.
He
we
just
have
does
something in the chat
something.
room.
Hey, let's say.
Hi, y'all. What are the qualifications to determine if Zoe Ever After will be renewed for a second season?
Prayer.
Prayer.
No.
Well, we got you covered.
Sinead
We got-
07.
Just positive thinking. We're just going to put positive thinking towards it. I'm not necessarily sure what the qualifications are. I'm just the actor.
ratings or
yeah, ratings, probably,
ratings
feedback.
and everything.
yeah.
But it's been so like well received
Sinead.
and loved, and you know.
Right, because weren't you guys trending
Yeah, we're trending. We're trending every single episode.
every single week?
Well, that's
It was
good
trending.
that you guys are trending.
Yeah, success.
So that means something.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I
'Cause
hope so.
I've seen a good reception on social media.
We'll see you at the BET Awards, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be
That's right.
something?
That's right.
Wouldn't that be something?
So is your style the same way as Valente's on the show? Like outside? Or are you
You
more
know
of
what?
a, you know?
Valente to me, because to get dressed for him, he would have like so many little pieces. You know, he had lapels and he had scarves and he had ascots, and it was really particular, incredibly tailored. So no, I'm actually a really simple dresser. I just like pieces and they look good. Just put them together, and then I'll put a necklace to it, some little trinket. But I want to get done fast. You know, I move too fast for myself, so I wanna get done quick.
Yeah.
Just put that on right now. But I love clothing in itself. I always go to H&M or I go to Top Man. Top Man is my place.
Top
right
Man,
now.
I've
Too bad
been
they don't
there.
have Top Shop like us.
Isn't that what?
Is Top Man
that's
Top Shop?
That's Top
That is,
Shop.
yeah,
Yeah, Top
Top
Shop.
Man
Oh,
is
it's the
Top
same
Shop.
thing.
Same
Oh,
thing, same
I
thing,
learned
yeah.
something new today.
Yeah,
Oh,
I go to
cool.
Top Shop.
Yeah.
I love
I
that
like
place.
that.
Yeah, I love Top Shop too. They have some good pieces.
Yeah, I love them. They're just so fitted. You know,
Yeah.
everything's well fitted. I kind of have like a thin body. So it's sometimes, you know, I can go to
Lucky for
Sears
you.
and find some pants, you know.
Well, I wear maternity pants
Right.
nowadays, so
That
I
must be
can't.
fun.
No.
I mean, I like H&M. Definitely like the styles there. Top Shop, Zara, you mentioned. But the brother been working out a little bit, so I'm getting a little bit
You
too
look
thick.
kinda buff.
You know, so I gotta kind of slim down to get into that.
Don't come in here
'cause
and it's
it's
like-
fitted. Like the clothes there are fitted,
Yeah.
which I like, and so yeah, I go
Yeah.
to those same places for
I
sure.
love that.
And the colors though
too.
that Valente wears. What does that sound?
It sounds like a cell phone. It is probably me.
You know, that's mine because I put mine on silent.
Okay.
So I'm gonna blame you,
Not Tori.
not me.
Well, good thing
not me.
it's okay. It's sorry. If it was me, I don't
Do
know.
you need to answer that?
No, I
You
don't.
sure? Or was it FaceTime? Was that what it was? No.
Heck no, I don't get FaceTimes at 11 at night. That's thirsty.
That's thirsty behavior. She knows it. She recognizes it. She watches Zoe Ever After.
Yeah. But listen, so there were no guest stars in this particular episode. But what would it take to get Camilla on the show? Maybe.
Camilla on the
Just
show.
Maybe season
Tell
2.
the casting director that they're looking for.
Season 2. Maybe. We have America's Next Top Model here who we can get because what Jessica White was on there, right?
Oh, right.
Oh yeah,
She
I love
was.
Jessica. She was so
I don't know.
sweet. I loved her.
So why not Miss Camilla P?
Camilla P. All right then, yo, people need
Just
to talk
write,
today,
just
people.
write me in.
I'm saying.
Write you in.
I'm saying. You know, something I wanted to ask you because
Yeah.
I looked at your social media and I know you've got some things that you post here and there.
Yeah.
And I saw, now this is not related to Zoe per se, but I saw you put a top 10 list of movies that you watch for the
Yeah.
year. A top 10 list of movies. What's had some good movies on there?
Yeah, I do that. You know, it's a little silly thing that I actually like to do. I love going to the movies, and so I usually go by myself. And I love watching a lot of. I like to watch a lot of kind of thought-provoking kind of independent cinema. So I'll go by myself, and I'll really kind of look at the film because that's how I study. That's how you should learn as an actor. You watch really good pictures. You know what I mean? And then
your
I do a
favorite
top 10 every year. Then I post it everywhere. It's just like a little dorky, silly thing I do.
Yeah, I like that.
And I kind of like it. It's like that's the only kind of writer in me, you know. And I do a more of an explanation on my Facebook, so it's kind of dorky.
So what's your favorite movie right now?
My favorite film of the year was The Revenant.
I just heard somebody else speak
Yeah.
about that movie.
I thought that
I
movie
want to
was
see
pretty
that,
brilliant.
but I want to see it like an IMAX because I think
Yeah.
the cinematography is supposed to be really good, right?
It's some of the most stunning shots of film that I've seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, I definitely want to see
Really,
that.
really good. I love Tangerine, which was a movie by Sean Baker, which is kind of a transgender
I think I've seen that
revenge
on
comedy.
Netflix, right?
on
He
Netflix?
filmed the entire picture
On the iPhone.
iPhone 5.
What?
I think I watched
Yeah.
it. It was like two girls. Yeah.
Oh, really?
On the streets of Los Angeles, and these were streets that I've walked, you know, buses I drove, you know. It was awesome. That
Yeah, that's
picture
funny.
was so good. And Room with Brie Larson.
Brie Larson. Whoever.
Yeah.
That's
She was in the United States of Terror. She was in a great film called Short Term 12. She was in Don John. Really great actress, and that Room was fantastic. And of course, Straight Outta Compton.
right. Now, one question I wanted to ask you about that though. Now with the Oscar noms out,
Yeah.
and then compared to your list, were you happy to see what kind of nominations came out from the Oscars?
I wasn't necessarily. There were some surprises in terms of that. I wasn't necessarily too bothered so much. I know that there's a lot of controversy with a lot of the nominees being all white and what have you.
Right.
And I think it's always good to make noise about diversity in the media, especially in film.
Yeah.
You know, I feel a lot of it's happening in television. You know, if you watch the Emmys per se, so many black actors and directors and whatnot were nominated this year and won major awards. That's just, you know, television seems to be more inclusive, and that's where the great writing is in television. You know, and it's so eclectic. I mean, just looking at Netflix and BET now is producing really, really great stuff. So In terms of film, there needs to be some work kind of done, and I think people should remember it's also a business. So, you know, you got to think about that revenue and the distribution and what someone feels will make money versus something that won't. You know, these group of people will make money versus these people who won't, and not being not thinking outside of the box. What's important is to have more people of color in positions of power and creation. You know, and that goes from, you know, my Asian brothers and sisters, my Middle Eastern brothers and sisters, you know, my Latino brothers and sisters, everybody, because we all make up this country. You know what I mean? As, you know, even when I think about like black people, you know, I never like it if something happens politically that they put us in a separate box, because I think we're some of the most American people in this country.
Absolutely.
We were here in the beginning, before you took the land away. We were here before. You know what I mean? We are not separate. We are America.
Right.
You know.
Absolutely. So we don't have a lot of time. We have to wrap soon, but I think we kind of covered our predictions. Right.
Prediction. I basically I'm gonna keep what I said, that Miguel is gonna come in and swoop her off her feet in a minute.
Keep hope alive.
She'll have those heels in the air in the next episode.
Next episode?
Not next episode, but probably the next after next, before the season is over, is what I'm saying.
So you said before the season's over, we're gonna see Miguel and Zoe knocking the boobs.
Yes.
That's the prediction.
My pony.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen. I'm not sure if it's gonna happen this. Well, it could.
Yeah, because
Well,
we
that's
have
the
to
overriding prediction.
Exactly. So.
For sure.
Well, overall, it was so great to have you in the studio.
Oh my God!
Most definitely, Mr. Tory Devon Smith. Thank you for joining us.
Of course, thank you guys so much.
And then where can people find you on social media?
Oh my God, I'm Tory Devon Smith everywhere on Twitter and Instagram, and also my Facebook like page. And www.torysmith.org is my website.
There you go. And then one quick plug: you also have a Netflix series coming out in the fall.
I got a Netflix series coming out called The Get Down that I'm on, which is an epic hip hop saga directed by Baz Luhrmann. And it is going to be just genius, I think.
Cool, I love Netflix.
I cannot wait.
We will look out for that in the fall.
Check out the trailer. It's on YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And then my name is Camilla.
What's your name, girl?
My name is Come Eat Me. I'm playing, just kidding. My name is Camilla, you know, and you can find me on Instagram at I am Camilla P. And you can find me also on Twitter. See, I always say it because, listen, let me hear it. I had a hack moment, but anyways, you can find me on Instagram at The Real Camilla P, and you can also find me on Twitter at I am Camilla P. There, boom.
I am.
And I'm Joshua Johnson. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JJ the Talented. Be sure you follow at AfterBuzz on social media, and also use the hashtag ABTVZEA. Subscribe, comment. We love your comments. We had another comment up there, but we didn't get a chance to get to it this week.
Sorry.
But keep commenting. Use that hashtag. Follow, subscribe. And we will check you next week with another episode of Zoe Ever After.
Woo!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.